Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to a special Tuesday edition on number 2 of 3 that we're going to do this month for Coming In Klutch Sports Podcast for all your great takes and all the great sports talks in the local area and beyond. So I am your host, Nelson, and to my right, your left, is Mr. Colby Torres, Colby T, and we're excited to be here. And it's a super fun Tuesday again.
Dude, it was a very, very entertaining weekend.
Boy, has it been it. Yes, it has. And, of course, for all of those of you who've been watching and sharing, we appreciate what you do. And we appreciate the fact that you want to engage into our podcast. And without you, the podcast cannot exist. So, as always, we want to always thank our sponsors and Eric B. Media for allowing Coming In Klutch to be on the platform. And as always, our podcast is being brought to you by the great folks at Troy City Mortgage and their partners over at the Walsh Title and Closing, working together to bring you the very best home buying experience. Troy City Mortgage, the best place to get you a mortgage in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, led by the great David Pereira. The team at Troy City Mortgage have local roots and deep knowledge and expert solutions to get you the very best mortgage possible. Give them a call at 508-207-5864. That's 508-207-5864. And for the Walsh Title and Closing, for all those title and closing needs, you got them at 508-858-5725. And that's 508-858-5725. So as always, Colby,
Nelly,
we are here once again on a special Tuesday.
we are.
And I hope you had a fabulous weekend.
Yeah, it was okay.
It's okay.
It was, like I said, a lot of screen time. There was a lot of games going on this weekend. It was a very exciting weekend.
Busy.
Busy. When we're going to get to the Celtics, obviously.
Sure.
Big, huge win last night.
Yep. Yeah, we definitely will. And, of course, our number here is 508-974-3040, 508-974-3040. Chime in, call in, give us your opinions, talk about kind of whatever you want, but try to stick to sports, please. I can't give you any counseling on marriage or how to take care of certain things in your life or investments. I probably could help you out with that. But anyway, that's a different show for a different day. So we are ready to go. And, of course, we always start our show. If you haven't been watching, we always start with an opening vent, which is usually a take or of some sort that Colby and I decide to take, and we vent off, and then we get into our show. So I think I go first today.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I think. But why not?
Go for it. I know you're ready to go. So
I am. So my opening vent is actually being brought to you by the wonderful folks at Core Nutrition, 25 Market Street in the great town of Swansea, God's country for some of you who don't know. It's not Somerset. Don't get it fooled. And Anna and her staff are fabulous in getting you those shakes, whatever you need to get yourself trimmed up, buttoned up, lubed up, whatever you need to be ready to go for this summertime fun. And their refreshments, their shakes, their teas, outstanding. Give them a shout. Check them out. Tell them that we sent you, and you'll be happy that you went.
And as I say every week, that's my breakfast of choice every single morning. I've been probably going there every single day for probably about a year and a half now. I love it there. The best shakes I've ever had.
True.
And it's kind of like family now. So
it really is. It really is. And they are great. And thank you, the staff over there at Core Nutrition, for sticking to our podcast and to our show. So the opening vent, here we go.
Let's go.
So this weekend was my son Xavier's birthday. Shout out to X. He turned the big 1, 2, 12, not 3, 1 plus 2. And we were excited, and we had circled this specific date because the Supporter Shield Cup winners, the New England Revolution, were going to be in town. And they're going to face the Columbus Crew. And they had come off a little 2-game win streak. So we circled up that date. We get the tickets because we're ticket holders and we're big fans. Mm-hmm. And we head up there. And they start playing like dog poo-poo. So they decide that they're going to play very conservative, very shaky in the back line. So I want to tell you, New England Revolution fans, we have a major problem. The problem that we have is We just simply suck this year. That's what it comes down to. We cannot get anything organized from the back to the front. And Matt Turner makes a save in the beginning of the game that keeps the game 0-0. And the back line is an absolute sieve. Andrew Farrell, the minute he gets the ball, it's out of his feet. And that is usually a sign of a timid, not confident player. Mm-hmm. Versus taking the space and carrying the ball and making sure that you do something in the next level of the game. So they're down 1-0 on a counterattack that started out of nothing, and they didn't win the ball. They in the 6 area, which is right outside the box. He makes it pass wide. He strikes it low, and it's a one-timer, easy goal because we have Andrew Farrell who's kind of watching. Kessler is the only real big weapon back there, and the wide backs have been very good. So 1-0. I'm like, he needs to change the team. So he does. And he goes into a 3, probably like a 3-4-3, a 3 in the back is what he did. And he takes DeJuan Jones, who's an up-and-coming star, plays in the left wing, puts him as a right winger. And I'm saying to myself during the game, DeJuan Jones needs to be used up front more, or used up front because we need the speed. And they don't have any speed. Since Tejan Buchanan left, it has been a nightmare on that side. So in comes our man, Boateng, the old man. Young Boateng comes in. I'm like, please don't put him on defense because he can't defend. But he's very good up front. He gives a little piece of paper to Kessler, and they play 3. And now there's speed, momentum, and pace. And now with all this momentum and space, now they're becoming dangerous and more dangerous. And guess what happens? They turn the game around. Really? And you know who comes out? Andrew Farrell comes out. Andrew Farrell comes out, and they play with 3, and they take out, Damon Rivera, local kid from Cranston. Kudos to him. Has scored a great banger.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Scored a great banger.
That's awesome.
A couple of weeks ago, 1 minute in, left foot in the box. No regards to human life on that ball. Smoked it. Good for you, kid. And they're up 2-1. So now I'm like, oh, they had to hold this lead. So he does what Bruce Arena does what everybody else probably would think. He changes out and puts back the traditional 4-3-3 or 4-4-2 or whatever the combination of, but there's 4 in the back. And who does he bring in? That bum, Omar Gonzalez, that loser who doesn't have any legs, cannot stop anyone. He puts him in, and my boy tells me he is going to create a problem there. And sure as nuggets, it is 7 minutes. I ask for 7 minutes for you to try to hold this precious lead to get these 3 precious points early in the season. And what happens? Columbus have 1 attack. They set up exactly the same way. They cross the ball in exactly the same way. And Omar Dumpy-Looping douchebag Gonzalez is late to the party, of course, and they concede, and it is what we call an ice bucket over your team. So, newsflash. If you can't defend in the game of soccer, you will lose games. That's what happens. If you cannot collectively produce a product that is going to make me engaged, I am not going to go. So take Omar Gonzalez and take the other loser that we got, the guy from So Hot right now, the forward that we just got, Josie Altador. You two jamokes together. You should be shipped off to Siberia.
Listen, I don't even know if I can compete now with
I want you off my team. I want you off my team. Okay? You are not producing. I don't care if you're Bruce's buddies. I don't care. You are done. You cannot compete at that level anymore, apparently. So get rid of those 2 bums. Give me 1 serviceable guy, preferably someone that can play in the back, either a 6 or a 5.
Listen, he already made his money, man.
He has, and it shows. Let me tell you, it shows. So the Revs are in trouble. And they had moments. I liked the aggressiveness. And we are asking for very little from a player who's a professional. He's not getting it done. The Revs are in trouble. They need to fix it fast, and they're changing the formations. They're trying to find what fits, and it's not working. They're in trouble, Colby. That's what I got.
Jesus. Well, I guess I got to come up to your level now. Jesus Christ. Okay, so let me start off here.
Brought to you who?
So my opening vent is brought to you by our new sponsor, JR and Sons Construction out of Westport, Massachusetts. So they specialize in asphalt paving. And their motto or their slogan is, "We don't cut corners, we pave them. We'll get the job done."
Simple. Works for me.
It's pretty simple. Dave does a hell of a job with him and his crew. I see his signs all over the city, all over the area, and he's really busy. So anybody looking to get their driveways paved or anything paved, please reach out to JR and Sons Construction. The information is below on the screen. His number is there.
Here you go.
So my opening vent, okay, is the National Basketball Association, the NBA.
Why not?
I cannot stand watching the pathetic product, or I should say the pathetic referee product that I saw this weekend. Okay? I have never been so pissed off watching games. And you can already say I'm a homer. Oh, the Celtics were getting screwed, blah, blah, blah. No. Watching that game, especially, what was that, Friday night's game? Is that what it was? Game three? Apparently, did you know the NBA is now the NFL? Because clearly, watching that game the other day, you can literally just run down the court, freaking tackle the guy, plow into the guy, do whatever the hell you want. And guess what? The ref ain't going to do shit. Okay? And, I like Giannis. I don't think he's like an asshole like the other, like the other superstars in the league. Right. But I just want to see consistency called, okay? I want it to be fair, okay? Because there was plenty of times, man, when he just ran down the lane, used his elbow, hit the guy out, laid it up, no call. And for all these people that say Jason Tatum's a superstar, which in my mind, he is a superstar, he should be getting the same superstar treatment that Giannis Antetokounmpo receives, okay? Because Giannis is receiving the LeBron treatment right now, and it's starting to piss me off, okay? Because when I watched the NBA, when I grew up watching the NBA, I grew up watching Michael Jordan, Pippen, that era, early 90s, mid-90s, early 2000s. I don't remember this shit happening in the NBA. Do you?
Not really. Not
I don't remember this at all.
No.
I mean, the NBA back then was real, and if you wanted it, you had to earn it. None of this crap right here, okay? And I'm just kind of over it. I'm over it. I mean, if this is how the series is going to be called, I don't know if I'm going to watch any more basketball, to be honest with you, because I don't like it. I don't like watching basketball like this.
Yep.
So that's it for me. I know we're going to get into a lot of the Celtics,
sure,
but the NBA needs to pull their head out of their asses and get some new referees in there.
There you go, folks. So we're hot and heavy here. It's a Super Tuesday, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back on the other side. Don't go anywhere, and we're going to get to some Celts and some Bees. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to Comin In Klutch every Tuesday night for the next couple of weeks, 7 to 8 p.m. on the Eric B. Media Podcast Media Center. So if you missed our opening vent, we are back. And I had gotten hot and heavy about the Revolution, who are not playing good football at all. Football. And Colby came in hot with the Celtics, particularly the refereeing, which is exactly where we're going to start.
Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
So we had seen some very outlier things in this series so far.
Yes, we have.
We have seen like unusual things like Tatum scoring 10 points, Giannis scoring over 40 points.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that's unusual. I had a feeling Giannis was going to get his points eventually.
But not over 40 points to that magnitude.
I kind of figured he was going to get 40 points, but I don't know, the way the Bucks have been playing, like, okay, Giannis gets 40 points. Right. What else are you going to do?
What else are you going to do? Right. So now we have a series of, things happening, like the Celtics playing out of their minds, shooting out of their minds, from the, behind the 3-point arc. And then you have yesterday, in the fourth quarter, I think the three guys between Marcus, Tatum, and Al Horford.
Big Al, baby.
Yeah.
Listen, I almost had a heart attack watching that game last night.
So let's take it back a little bit. Well, they were up one. They were down 1-0.
They were down 1-0. We were on live last week during game 2, I believe. That's the game that Jalen went off early in the first quarter.
Right.
Celtics,
Thank you.
Celtics ended up tying
there we
the
have.
series.
Okay, so the game gets tied up, and the game was kind of over before it started. People started racketing and raving about the Celtics, and they almost let us slide. Let me tell you something. It's halftime. You're up by 25 points. There's nothing to be worried about really at that point at this level. So they gave up the lead a little bit. They got into a little bit of a run, the Bucks. The game was already out. It was over.
Okay, but so I want to say something, too, about this. Because I'm sick of everyone saying, oh, the Celtics kind of let off the gas. What NBA team doesn't let off the gas when they're up 25 points?
Yeah, odd, stupid.
Because every team that I see does the same shit.
Exactly. So we go into game 3. It's back in Milwaukee. And this is the game that you were hot and heavy about, and I don't blame you. So there's this infatuation that Giannis,
I know where we're going with this.
Giannis apparently can just do his Euro step, elbows up, hands up, just smash everybody in the lane and get the easy bucket.
Yes.
And even after all the controversy that was going on in that game and the back and forth and the no calls, the Celtics still took the lead.
Yeah, they almost had a chance. They had a chance to win that game.
It was one of those games that I was hoping that they were going to be able to speak out and steal from them, because I'm going to tell you this. If Milwaukee loses that game, Milwaukee ain't sleeping that night.
No.
But the Celtics lost, and I think Jason Tatum did not sleep well.
I don't think any of them slept well, because I think they all take it to heart. You can see.
Yeah. So my take with that game is that you have a player like Giannis who has now found an ability to muscle himself over because he's just stronger than everybody else. But he does it in such a way that is so blatantly obvious that he's trying to just smash people out of their way to almost avoid defending. That's what I see. I also see on the other side, like Portis, he comes down.
Robert Williams,
and it was a nasty elbow. And the guy went down, they're griping about him.
So this brings up my next point. So why is it okay to not call a foul against Portis, which that was blatantly obvious, right?
He knew that.
But then yesterday, when Al Horford goes up for his dunk, his arm comes off, after he's dunking, he's in motion. Yeah, he hit Giannis in the face. Clearly he didn't mean to hit him. They call it technical on that one, but yet they let Bobby Portis just do whatever the hell he wants.
Right. So I had seen that game, and I said to myself, they won by 2 points. Giannis put up 46. Tatum put up 10. I'm telling you that those two things probably won't happen again in the series. There's no way that Tatum will only be held to 10, and I don't think Giannis is going to go over 40 every game.
Correct.
So with that being said, I still like the Celtics' chances here. I really do. And now it's a 2-2 series, correct?
Correct. Coming home tomorrow night.
It's home, away, home.
Home, away, home, yep.
It's 2 out of 3.
Listen, to me, if the Celtics win tomorrow night, they're up 3-2 in the series, and they control their own destiny now.
They do.
Because if you go to Milwaukee, you lose it. All right, guess what? You're coming home for Game 7. You have that home crowd behind you.
Right. And that's what you want. So what I've seen is a tough matchup. on two teams who are really starting to hate each other.
You can start to see it's getting a little
And it's getting hot and heavy in there. It's getting chippy and it's getting nasty.
You're right.
And both teams want to win because both teams have an identity that does not want to be lost. The Celtics have an identity of defending and getting away your best player.
Correct.
And Milwaukee has an identity of not allowing you to come into their house, which is inside the paint.
Correct.
And I like that. So it comes down to which identity is going to outlast the other.
You're right.
That's what I believe. And based on that, it's going to come down to execution, of course. But I just feel that the Celtics just have more. They have a deeper bench. They have more substance there. Now, if Middleton's playing, yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean,
that's a different
again,
ballgame.
but Middleton's a huge loss.
Huge.
And I don't understand why they're not talking about it like it's like, oh, they still have Drew Holiday. Yeah, Drew Holiday is a nice player, but when you have Holiday, Middleton, and Giannis,
now you're talking.
That's a whole different team.
That's a dangerous team. So, Marcus came in yesterday, and they were talking about it this afternoon. Of course, Felger
and Maz,
being the big baby, saying that, oh, I guess you want to see blocking fouls, if you want to see charges and people hitting the deck. Let me tell you something. If you feel that your player like a Giannis, if you're a Bucks fan, if you feel that they should be getting this superstar treatment, I'm letting you know that I feel that my defensive player of the year should get his.
Yep. And you know what?
That's just what it comes down to.
You just brought up another point. I am sick and tired hearing these asshats. That's what I said. These asshats on our radio waves in Boston, okay, who should be in support of their Boston team
to a certain degree,
criticizing everybody and anyone, okay? And the fact that they were saying crap about Marcus Smart for game 3, right? When it was a clear foul, he was clearly shooting the ball, but yet the ref said 2 shots. Okay.
Yeah.
And these guys go on the radio and they're like, "Well, Marcus Smart's a flopper. Why should he get those calls?" I'm like, stop. The eye test tells me he was shooting the ball.
It was 3 seconds.
Okay,
left.
It's the NBA.
Chris Mannix, who understands the game, mentioned that he was going to go shoot for 3. There was 3 seconds left. You're down by 3. What else are you going to do?
He's going to pass the ball. Clearly, he needs to shoot the friggin' ball.
And who was up there? Was it Portis? No, it was
No, it was Drew Holiday. Who made a stupid foul.
It really was.
And
dumb.
He even said it was stupid.
So as I'm watching that game, I was watching it on my phone, and then I was watching the Celtics being up by 1, and I was hoping that they could squeeze that out. And they fell short. What I didn't like, that possession that Brown had, it was definitely a disaster. If you're going to go inside, man, you got to make a finish. It was so obvious.
It's like he gave up at the end.
It did.
It was so aggravating.
And then Drew Holiday takes the ball, and I think there's a shove on Tatum, and he throws up the floater that feels like it's up there for 10 minutes.
Yeah, but that was obvious to me again.
That was an obvious
You could see him push Tatum
He's pushing away to get space.
So what, Tatum just flopped back? No. That's not how it happened.
So there's no foul there. That should have been no bucket, foul going the other way. Game's over. We're up 3-1. So we can sit there and dissect everything that happened in every quarter. The reality is what these morons are talking about in your terrestrial radio, these nonsensical people who are making well over 6 figures, this is what they're saying. They're saying that the Celtics have had some luck because they've had spurts in quarters, like 10-minute spurts where they're playing at a high level. No kidding. This is the NBA playoffs. You are going to have great moments when your team is executing at a very high level. And you're going to have your lulls. That's how it works. Yeah, that's how it works. Believe it or not. That's
That's how it works?
Positive. And then there's situations
Never knew that. It's news to me.
Then there's a situation where your team hits a low and you get 17 points in the quarter, which is why I was upset on game 3.
A game of runs, like I always say. Basketball is a game of runs. It's simple. It's a very simple game.
This is the NBA playoffs where you're going to have intervention by the Zebras.
Yeah.
And you're going to have
I like that.
And you're
That's a good one.
And you're going to have players who are going to get their calls based on how their makeup is and their influence in the National Basketball Association. So if you're a superstar that is 6'10", whatever Giannis is, 2% body fat, with arms that go down to his ankles, and he gets in the paint, he's probably going to get his call. But Jason Tatum, who is an all-around fantastic player,
he's a superstar.
He's
a top 10 player in the NBA right now.
Absolutely, he needs to get his calls the same way. And if you really want to talk about the Zebras being all messed up, The game that he had 10 points, game 3,
Mhm.
I thought he would have gotten a couple calls to go back into the stripe and go get some,
Correct.
which that did not happen. And then we have Marcus Smart coming back yesterday. Again, defensive player of the year. Gary Payton, when they faced the Chicago Bulls in 1996, was on Michael Jordan. I know, phenomenon. Best player in the world to probably ever play the game. And Payton is on Jordan.
Yes.
And Payton got his and would get those calls from time to time. You know why? Because he was Defensive Player of the Year, and he was called the glove for a reason. You earn your title, and the NBA and the Zebras, the refs, they know who those players are. And they're going to have their tendencies of, at the spur of the moment, either call a foul or no foul. So the reason why Marcus gets those calls is because he's Defensive Player of the Year. And they're thinking, well, he was in position. That is a blocking foul. That is a charge. They know, even if it might not be, but Marcus will get it because Marcus knows what he's doing, and he knows how to do that. And let me tell you something. That is not just happening with the Celtics. This happens all year round.
Thank you.
All year round.
Thank you. And again, another example of how officiating isn't consistent in the NBA is a prime example yesterday where Drew Holiday, his feet were not set on that play. Okay, his feet were still moving.
Yep.
They challenged it, and the refs are like, oh, he was ready to go. His feet were set. Like, what the hell is the interpretation? Because I want to know. Because now I'm getting pissed off watching this game. Because once again, this zebra, as you like to use here, just killed the momentum.
Yep.
Okay, and that's the issue I have. And you can say game 3, the Celtics shot way more foul shots than Milwaukee. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that now we have a football player in the NBA who can constantly, every single time he wants to, just run into someone as hard and as fast as he wants, and nothing will be called.
508-974-3040 is the call if you want to chime in on what's been going on in this series. It's been a hot and heavy series.
I'm fired up.
Oh yeah, and you should be.
Off, man.
It's a series that I expected to be exactly this way. I expected these are two teams who believe in their product, who believe in themselves, who believe in their identity. So call in, chime in if you want to give us your input on what you saw. Was there something that you saw? I'm going to tell you one other thing that I couldn't stand.
Go ahead.
Game 2, we leave the station. I rush home like a little kid. Gotta watch the game because I'm an addict. Fact, not opinion, folks. Yep. And I get there, and I sit there, and I'm like, "Ooh, I want to see what else the Celtics are doing. Who's coming in? Who's coming out?" I'm totally geeking it up. X's, O's, 3-2-2-3 zone, man cover.
Wow, look at
I
this.
am all in, right? And then happens this series of them stopping momentum to go check challenges. Remember this?
Mm-hmm.
They just stop, and they're challenging like 5 challenges in a row on some stupid moronic move or play in the fourth quarter. So the Celtics have momentum, they call it, and vice versa. Milwaukee gets momentum, they cut it to 15, and they have to stop and look at something. How much is going on in the NBA court that you need to stop as a professional officiating referee to be able to look at it slow motion? 6 different things that were nonsensical. It made no sense. I was so confused on what they're looking at.
Listen, newsflash, okay? Breaking news. It's the goddamn NBA playoffs, okay? Just like the NFL takes pride on having the best the best officials in their playoff games, the NBA should do the same thing. And right now, they're not doing it.
What a disaster. You remember, I'm not sure if you saw the game or not. There was a series of literally they're calling and they're challenging something that was I'm not even sure if it even made any sense.
It never does.
It was 4 or 5 different times. And I'm literally I am staring at the TV with my mouth open, drooling because I'm chubby and old now. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what's going on? What are they looking at?
Oh, man.
As I got cookie crumbles, of course, because it's chocolate chip cookie night. And I'm sitting there. I don't understand. And I see this toe in, toe out at the stripe. This is what we're looking at?
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me.
Listen.
Can we end this game because I have to go to work tomorrow.
but
please, can we just end the game? It's double digits. It's over.
Yes, but if you're going to be ticky-tack about the
Holy smokes.
how about Giannis sitting at the goddamn line for 7 minutes? Like, yeah, shoot the ball, okay? Yep. It's a free throw, not a I'm going to take 5 minutes and then shoot it. Get your ass in there and shoot the goddamn ball.
No, because he can't shoot free throws. So there you have it, folks. 508-974-3040.
And real fast before we do anything, I want to say Al Horford. Hell of a pickup this offseason.
Wow, what a beast.
Okay, I don't care what anyone says. He's a retread, blah, blah, blah. Hell of a pickup by Brad Stevens this offseason. What a game he had yesterday.
Monster game
with no Robert Williams in that lineup. Hell of a game.
He had a monster game, and he's been good really all year, and he's been relatively healthy and in shape. I told you, like, we went to see him in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
The guy looks like he's 25. So he's on it. Yeah. He's on it, and he was big yesterday when they mattered, and it was the efficiency. And that's part of the game. When you're really good, you're going to get hot.
Correct. It is, exactly.
If you've ever played a hoop, you get moments when literally the basket looks like a wastebasket, and things are just dropping.
And you just can't do anything wrong.
Just can't go wrong.
Just throw it up.
508-974-3040 is our lovely phone calls. We'd love to hear from you. So call in, chime in. I hope you're watching, sharing, plugging, doing whatever you got to do. And we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get into some Bruins. Bruins, yeah. We're going to get to some Bees who I thought were out of the gutter and done. But they're still surviving, and they're playing tonight. And we'll talk about them on the other side. Talk some Sox, too. Don't go anywhere. And we're back, folks. Coming in clutch this Tuesday. We are here until about 8 o'clock tonight. And we'll be here next Tuesday, 7 to 8 as well. And then we'll go back to our normal slot of 6:30 to 7:30. So, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for chiming in. And hopefully you're sharing and doing what you got to do. And hopefully you're watching after hours when we're not able to be around live. And maybe you can catch us after the fact of us having the show. So, we had just left out of our break and talking about the Celtics and what has unraveled in that series. It's been a lot to digest. You could probably hear the whole hour really talking about them. But I like the chances of what's going on in the series. I think coming back to Boston tied is probably about as good as it's going to get. And now you have home court.
Yeah, and I they listed Robert Williams as questionable for tomorrow, and I mean I hope he's ready to go because I mean think about it, that's another asset, another big body that you can have to take a beating from Mr. Football Player himself.
Exactly. So on to the Boston Bruins. So the Bruins clearly it felt like they were out of it. And they went down 2-0 very convincingly, may I add, with some very poor defending, not good goaltending, and just really an anemic, once again, offense. Not scoring, not doing what they're supposed to do. Then they came home and they revived themselves. They fought hard. And Carolina kind of threw up a big goose egg on Mother's Day. Really, a big, was it Mother's Day? I think it was Mother's Day they played.
Yes, Sunday.
Yeah. And it was a massive goose egg. And I thought that was the game that they could have put the Bruins away. They had no McAvoy.
He is back tonight.
He is. Nolan home. And I really felt that there was going to be the time. And they wound up putting in Carlo, and they wound up putting in, Riley, and they wound up putting it together, and they wound up really having a great game. It was a frustrating game for Carolina. And, of course, here we are into Game 5. And they're already down with 2 very soft cupcake goals from what I've gathered. They're down 2-0, which is already not a good sign. I still feel that Carolina is the better team. I just think they're just more complete all the way around. I think they just have a bigger depth, more want. But if the Bruins could play the hockey that they had been playing for the most part, which was taking care of your goalie in the front, being able to somehow fix, which they attempted to do, and they were somewhat successful. At least they scored a goal on the power play. Get the power play going.
Correct.
You have a chance. Those power plays, it's a man advantage. You have to take chances on that. And I thought the Carolina was really dumb in some of their 9 penalties or something like that. And I felt like they were in the box more than not, and that really helped.
Plus, I mean, listen, as much as people don't want to admit, playing in Boston is totally different from playing in Carolina.
No question about it. No question about it. So I really think that that the series being 2-2 is a little bit of a surprise for some of us. But as a Bruins fan, I'm going to say that they wound up finding themselves. At least they tied it up. So whatever happens tonight, they're going to at least live another night.
Well, I was going to say, I think a big key of the Bruins turning it around. You know me, I'm not a big hockey guy.
I know,
but it's the first line of having Pasternak, Marchand, and Bergeron.
Yep, that's the line.
And
you want to know the difference between a hockey player and a basketball player?
What's that?
Is that a hockey player like Bergeron eats a stick to his cheekbone?
Yes, that is correct.
Bleeding like a sieve. He goes out and he comes back in and he plays, and he has the post game, and it literally looks like somebody punched his brains out. And then you have the NBA, where they're flopping everywhere, and you very rarely see, they're like fish in water flopping out there. That's the difference of a basketball player and a hockey player.
Of course.
So, again, the reason why it's so hard to judge these series in the NHL, Colby, is because the NHL playoffs are exceptionally entertaining.
And listen, and like I always say to you, I'm not a big hockey guy, but for some reason, there's nothing like the NHL playoffs. Tremendous. It just sucks you in, man. It really just sucks you in. It's like, wow, I want to watch all 3 periods.
So everyone thought that Florida and Tampa were going to have cupcakes. They're not. They're having a heck of a tough time. The New York Rangers, who I've been hearing constantly, who I despise, by the way, really despise them, the Penguins in Montreal together can be a cluster of balls that I could fire away and never see again. I despise the Rangers. I despise the Penguins, and I really despise the Habs. Really. And the Rangers, who are, I thought, a young, talented team, probably had the best goalie in the business. They're struggling. And I thought they were going to have this in his Washington, old school Ovechkin, just creating problems.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, there's some type of stigma or mojo that's in that arena in New York City, because both teams that play in there suck.
They're not good.
And I'm talking about the Knicks and the Rangers.
Yeah, and the Rangers had a good year, but they just can't finish up the game. So the Bees are down 3-2, 2-0 right now, right?
Yes.
2-0, right?
Let me just see if
they're down 2-0. It's relatively early.
Yep.
They're already in the hole.
2 minutes left.
So they're already in the hole. Is it Allmark in net?
Nope, Swayman.
It's Swayman. So Swayman's confidence is probably a little bit down the toilet. There might be a shift and a change of things keep going the wrong way. So I still believe that I would like it to go to 7 games.
I still think it's going to go 7. I mean,
that's what I want.
I thought Carolina was going to punch back, today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still early. There's a lot of time left in this hockey game.
It's a lot of hockey left.
I thought they were going to lose today, going back to Boston and win that game, and then head to Carolina for Game 7. And at that point, it's who wants it more, right?
Right. And the team that I've thought has done really well and was what I expected them to be was, pretty much it was, the Avalanche.
Yes.
Colorado, super great team. They have been on point. Maker had another great game yesterday. I mean, McKinnon, they just have a plethora of players that are just phenomenal team.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the one that really had it easily going on. And then I see, the Pittsburgh Penguins game yesterday. It was 7-2. The Rangers. What a bunch of frauds. Let me tell you. Holy smokes. I've been hearing about the Rangers for so long. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are just stomping all over you with a commanding 3-1 lead. Sidney Crosby comes back out of life.
Sid the kid.
And he's playing lights out. Watch out.
Sid the kid.
There he is.
Sid the freaking
kid. I am enjoying these upsets. This is the beauty of the NHL. We'll go back to the Bruins. They got to be able to tighten up the back line. It needs to be tightened up, and they still have moments when they're just so soft, and they take forever to get out of their zone.
Listen,
and they get into the corner. How does that puck somehow still stay circling behind the net, and it never clears? And some of those goals, I don't know what goalie could save him.
So that's one thing I did notice watching at least the first two games when they were in Carolina. Was like, it's like they just I don't know, they were scared. Like they were playing away, they couldn't handle the crowd. And Carolina was just coming at them, and they were just taking it. I can't remember a Bruins team. I mean, maybe you can. That was kind of like that.
Well, the Phil Kessler years.
Yeah, but I'm talking about. I don't even think they were good back in that day with Phil Kessler, right? But I'm just saying, I would say maybe within the past 6-7 years, I felt like Bruins teams were always tough. They were all mentally tough.
That's always been the persona that's gone with the big bad Bruins.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is it only works when everyone buys in. And what you have here is a lot of Bruins who are wearing Bruins jerseys, but are not really buying into the Bruin identity.
And listen, and there was
a lot of soft players.
And they were talking about today, our lovely friends on the 2 to 6 show.
Of course.
We're talking about how Cassidy was probably going to be fired if they didn't do anything. I really wouldn't put this on Cassidy. I really think he's a good coach. And I think you mentioned this. This is a problem with the NHL is you get rid of a coach. Keep him there because what he's building with this team I think it's pretty good. If anything, you put it on the GM. The GM's the one that signs all these guys.
So Don Sweeney's seat is pretty hot.
It should be pretty hot.
And it really should be. And the problem is that, and I mentioned this last week, you have this model in the NHL where a general manager goes, the coach typically follows.
Yes.
And in this case, I don't know if Cassie deserves to be gone. I don't know what has he done. What has he done so detrimentally bad to be able to put the Bruins in a situation with their, and they end in the 6th seed, and they're playing a Carolina team that's had their number all year.
Well, I was just gonna say this. I don't think either of them are getting fired because I don't even think Jeremy Jacobs knows his team's in the playoffs.
He's 90.
So
he is old.
He owns a team.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him.
Hey, Jeremy.
Doesn't even know his effing team's in the freaking playoffs.
Jeremy, can you hear me? Are you alive? Boy, that guy. Have you seen him lately? Woo, man.
No, of course I haven't seen him lately. That's what I'm saying.
He is old. You know what? That guy does not care. I don't think he cares. And I want to tell you, what's going on with the Bruins is what happened with the Celtics with Red Auerbach. Red had the team. He owned the team like the persona, and they rode him until they couldn't ride him anymore. Yeah. And when he left, there was no identity for the Celtics for a long time.
You're 100% right.
And Jacobs being the owner for so long, and how he does things and how he allows these general managers to maneuver pieces. Are we going to have the farm system? When things are going well, when Providence Bruins are doing well. When the Providence Bruins are usually a suck bag of mashed potatoes down there in Providence, usually that means that the farm system is not good. And now they have to spend to get pieces to be competitive.
See, what I want to know is how do the Bruins have an owner who lives in Buffalo, New York?
It's been a great mystery for about 45 years. I don't know. I really don't. I don't understand.
It just blows my mind.
Well, he must like him. Well, he must like Buffalo wings, or he must like the Buffalo Bills, or maybe he likes Jim Kelly. I don't know. I don't know what it is up there, but he loves being in Buffalo. Maybe he wants to go sit in Niagara Falls.
So go own the freaking Sabres.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because every team,
they suck too.
Every team in this city, you got Grossbeck sitting courtside every game, home and away. Okay, Robert Kraft. Everybody knows Kraft. Yeah, Kraft's got freaking 2 planes.
You have John Henry.
Yeah, good old John Henry, who goes and buys the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I know. That's
and like I brought up, what a coincidence that the Winter Classic next year at Fenway Park is between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Boston Bruins.
I wonder where the revenue is going to go. Oh, I know. Into his 100-foot yacht with his smoking hot girlfriend that's 50 years younger than him. That's where it's going.
That's his wife, by the way.
I know it. It's smoking. Ridiculous. I don't get it.
It's all about this. It's all about this.
Oh, I thought it was about the other thing. But okay. So there you have it. So 508-974-3040 is our call here. We'd love to have your call. We had a couple phone calls last week. We haven't got many today.
Well, the problem is the game's on right now.
The game is on. Still 2-0. I think at the end of the
2-0, end of the first. So maybe we'll get some people to chime in.
So I will say this. It's going to go to 7 games. I think if the Bruins could tighten up a few things, I think they would have a chance to take it to and just steal a game. They need to steal a game. They haven't stolen the game.
You're right.
If they were to steal a game, then they would be in the driver's seat. But that hasn't happened, and it's hard to do that in hockey. And your goal needs to be spot on. And right now, Sleeman,
they got 40 minutes to prove it and show it.
Let's go over.
Do you want to do this?
Yep.
Oh God.
So
this is gonna break my heart.
So Colby is wearing a Red Sox hat today. And as you folks know, Colby is a big baseball guy. Let me tell you what, he loves baseball, this guy. And he is not sleeping well lately. Not good. Things are not good over there in Yawkey Way. And I want to tell you, your event last week, every time I see them stink it up, I think of your event.
You probably laugh, right?
I am laughing hysterically on how bad this ball club is. So let me see if I get this straight.
You really want to fire me up? I was up here at the beginning of the show. I'm down here. Now you're going to bring me back up here again?
We're up against it. You want to take a break? Let's take a break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about some more Red Sox. And that way we can see if Colby can cool off. So don't go anywhere. We'll take one quick break. We'll see you on the other side. And we are back on our last segment. We are back. And we had trying to calm down Colby because we're going to take our last segment. We're going to take it all the way home, and we're going to talk some Sox.
Let's go. Let's just do this damn thing.
So here we go. So the Red Sox are an abysmal team right now. They're
Yes,
at 10-19. They're in last place in the AFC East. Oh, I'm sorry, in the AL East.
I'm sorry, last place?
Last place, yes. Last place. So Boomers Yankees are in first place with 20-8.
Say that again?
20-8, the Yankees are in first place, and today is May 10th.
Listen, it's pathetic. The fact that you just said 10-19, the freaking light bulb just came on.
That's bad.
It's like watching the Pittsburgh Pirates, okay? Of when I was
Kansas City
growing up,
Royals?
Yeah, the Kansas City Royals, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Freaking every year they suck.
The Milwaukee Brewers.
30 and 120, but they get the first pick in the draft.
Yeah.
You know?
Irrelevant. This team, I think the question, and just tell me, what is High Bloom's intention? Is he a Sherrington kind of guy? Is he going to be Dombrowski, which is unlikely? Where is this guy?
So
I had high expectations.
So I don't know if it's him. I think it's John Henry, because John Henry wants to buy everything in its mother. Okay, he has a stupid soccer team. He just bought
Liverpool.
He just bought an NHL team. Okay, so his money's clearly going somewhere else, and I'm sure he's giving Heim like, listen, you can only spend a certain amount of money, and you're the perfect guy because you came from Tampa, who doesn't spend money.
Okay.
This is the Boston Red Sox, okay? Not the Tampa Bay Red Sox,
Correct.
okay?
Yep.
I don't care. Spend $1 billion on this team. You want me to go to Fenway Park and you want me to pay $200 and something to sit in row 70 of the bleachers.
Yep.
Not happening. But yet, Nesson has a beautiful studio in center field. Like, stop throwing that down my throat, too.
Right. So this is exactly where the angle comes from. And you're right. The Boston Red Sox are a team that needs to be spending against the cap and beyond the luxury tax all the time. Whatever their cap is, which they don't have a cap. They need to be doing this and being competitive. I'm not telling you to flush out the farm system completely like Dombrowski, but this conservative approach of X's and O's and talking about next year and next year. Next year, you're 29 games into this year. You need to be able to be relevant.
No, it's all about next year.
This next year infatuation, the situation with Bogaerts was concerning to me less than what it is now.
Dude, just go sign the guy.
Can we just sign the guy?
Clearly, there's some tension, like in that
Something's going on.
clubhouse. Go effing sign Xander Bogaerts. You sign him, guess what? All that tension goes away. Okay? And I bet you this team turns it around.
Right.
Okay? Go get Tim Hires again from the freaking Texas Rangers.
Yeah, please.
Tell him you'll give him however much money he wants to fix this team, because this team can't even hit a freaking banana, a beach ball thrown at him.
So I'm watching the game the other day. And I got Bobby Dahl back up there, and I said to myself,
Bobby Suckbag.
Hey, boy, does this guy blow bags of penises? Let me tell you. This guy, he gets up there. It's literally 1, 2, 3 strikeout. He has no confidence. He's really in trouble.
But listen,
can we bring him just to AAA?
Listen,
they can't because they don't have anybody else.
But this is when the hitting coach comes into play. Clearly, Bobby Dahlback cannot hit outside pitches. So you know what you do before the game, after the game, on the off days, in your sleep, when you're eating breakfast. Throw the ball outside, hit the ball outside. You practice hitting the ball outside. Because guess what? Once you start hitting the ball on the outside, then pitchers are going to be like, oh, shit, he knows how to hit the outside pitch.
We got to go in.
And then they pitch him in where he loves the ball. Guess what?
You become more dangerous.
Exactly.
Yep.
See, maybe they should hire me.
Maybe they should. And this is where the beyond them not hitting, which is an apparent obvious situation, is that the situation with Whitlock is really starting to frustrate me.
Dude, don't ruin this kid, please. For the love of God, don't ruin this kid.
Doesn't it look like here's a guy that came from the Yankees, right? Yankees farm system.
Rule 5 draft pick.
Right. This guy was a great setup guy. And I'm telling you, I think Alex Cora doesn't have a lot of power right now. I think he is between a rock and a hard spot.
Well, it's not on him.
I know.
It really isn't.
There's people above him. I think Bloom is telling him what to do. And Alex doesn't agree. I think there's tension between those two guys. And Whitlock needs to be the setup man.
No.
You tried it.
Whitlock should be the closer.
Or even better.
That's the problem.
Get him out of the starting line.
Yeah, but that's the problem with this team, too, is they don't have a closer. The Yankees have a closer. Listen, we don't like the Yankees, but they got Chapman. Chapman comes in the 9th. You know he's going to shut people down.
He just throws smoking. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. 508-974-3040. The Red Sox are in trouble.
Listen, I'm pissed because
it is not what we expected them to be. I know it's a long season. Could they turn it around? They could. Have they turned it around? They have. Have they had seasons where they were 9-21 and they turned it around and became a contender? They have. But this mismodel currently isn't working. And you go get a guy like JBJ, who cannot hit.
Oh, but he makes defensive. No, he's amazing in the field.
And he is just simply adding to the disaster. He really is. And you take away Bogarts, there really isn't much offense going on. The starting pitching has been okay, but the starting pitching to me at this point in 2022, how relevant is your starting pitching when all you want them to do is go 5 innings? And according to my math, 5 innings at 3 outs is 15 innings.
Dude, I can't do
15
this.
outs.
I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. Freaking Rich Hill, who's 41 years old, okay? He was pitching well the other day. They took him out after the 4th inning. He was pissed. Let him stay in there.
It's too much metrics. Way too much metrics going on in the game of baseball.
Too many nerds in baseball. Too many nerds.
Dorkazoids are us and their Carmine and their machine and their flux capacitors trying to figure out the exact statistical data.
So let me see. He pitches 7 times on the outside of the plate. Like, shut up. Please, I'm so sick of this shit. I am so sick of this, dude. The baseball that I grew up, the Boston Red Sox that I grew up watching, this is totally different, dude.
5 innings in 1995, 2005, 2010. 5 innings was not a good outing for a major league starting pitcher. Not a good outing. No, it was considered a bust. You had to get to 7 innings and keep it at about 2 to 3 runs and probably throw close to 100 pitches, and that was considered a good success.
But see, now here's the other problem. I understand MLB has changed, the velocity has changed,
the pace,
so
the speed.
But I'm talking philosophy.
Like, right.
So that's all well and good if you have a bullpen, okay? So if you're going to use these guys for 4 or 5 innings, you better have an amazing bullpen.
Because you still got 4 innings.
And clearly, the Red Sox don't have a bullpen.
They don't have one. And
all they do is walk everybody. That's it. And I like Robles, okay? I liked Robles. I thought he was the best one in there.
Yeah.
Comes in, walk. Throwing the ball. He's throwing the ball outside the freaking stadium, dude. Like, give me a break.
He's launching it.
You're a professional baseball player. Throw a freaking strike.
When you watch some of the strikeouts that the Sox have had at some of their at-bats, Nesson does this thing about they're showing him in slow motion. If you think it's bad in real life, you should go back and see it when it's in slow motion. It is awful. It is so bad. The ball's coming in, and they're herky-jerky, and it's swinging around. The ball's already in the pitcher. It's already in the catcher's mitt. It's already in the catcher's mitt. The timing that they have to hit the ball and make contact and spray at the opposite field is non-existent. So this is why you're 10-19, because you don't want to spend, because you want to be the Tampa Bay Sox. This is what you want to be. You want to be a team that's a small market, and yet you live in a big city with over 1.2 million people, whatever many million people there are in Boston. This is the Boston Red Sox. You should be playing competitively. Entice me to go spend my idiotic money to go pay $25 for a beer, $20 for a hot dog, and $250 to go sit up in the nose.
And guess what?
Can you entice me, please?
And guess what? If you called me and said, hey, I got free tickets, you want to go? No, I don't want to go. I don't even want to go for free, okay? Until this team does something. Because it's pathetic, dude. Pathetic what this team is doing.
What a terrible – it's really been awful. And I really thought they were going to be able to snap something out of it. They don't have an identity. They don't have really a leader. And if they have a leader, somehow it's being clouded by the fact that High Bloom is looking at the long term. I am not telling you that you need to waste your farm system, but you need to be better than this.
But listen, I know they had the number one pick, whatever. They had
the Baltimore Orioles are better than you. Yeah, how is this possible?
So it still blows my mind.
The Baltimore Orioles.
Yes, but listen, so they don't want to sign Xander, or that's the rumor, okay? Xander is the heart and soul of this team. He is the Marcus Smart of the Boston Red Sox, okay? And as he goes, the Red Sox go, okay? And I don't think he's going to ask for an astronomical amount of money, but he wants to be paid fairly for what he's done, and he deserves to be paid.
I think so, too.
And his agent, Scott Boras, okay?
Yeah.
And we all know how Scott Boras is,
exactly.
Okay? So the fact that, they drafted Marcelo Meyer last year with the 4th pick, whatever they had, I don't care. The kid's 18 years old. I don't want to see that kid in the big leagues, at least for another 4 years, okay? You sign Xander for 4 more years, and you keep him with Story, okay? He'll be happy, and they'll actually probably grow together, and they'll have some type of camaraderie.
You think Story's going to be all right, or is he in trouble?
I don't know. I don't know. It's still too early because
I think it is early
because remember Dustin Pedroia when Dustin. this is why I always say I don't know, because when Dustin Pedroia was a rookie, his rookie year with the Red Sox, his first probably 3 months, he sucked. And I was like, send this guy back to Pawtucket. And look how Pedroia turned out.
Right. So, in a nutshell, we can honestly say that there is a serious problem going on in Yawkey Way.
Yes.
The Red Sox have a chronic problem with their mentality, their psyche. Their hitting is in there. Their starting pitching is average at best. And they get to 5 innings, even if you're doing well, they want to yank it because the Dorkazoids want to do that. You don't have a setup guy because your setup guy is in the rotation. I understand Rich Hill had an issue in the other pitcher there.
Who?
He had bereavement. He had to I forget the other guy's name already. I forget who he is now.
Suckbag?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Either way, they brought Whitlock in. It was supposed to be a temporary fix. And now what's happening is this. High Bloom wants to convert Whitlock into a starter. You know why?
Because they don't have anybody.
Besides that, I think they want to say, look at you Yankee fans. We took this guy from you, and not only is he a setup guy, he is a starting pitcher. Want to know what the Yankees are saying? I don't care because I'm 20-8 and you're in last place. So can you stop forcing something now? I understand that a starting pitcher has more longevity than a setup guy or a closer because of the rotation, how many pitches, and I get all that. Right now, there's one thing that the Red Sox need. You know what they need?
What?
Wins. You need to win and get into a streak and close the gap so that you can get ahead of the pathetic Baltimore Orioles. The Baltimore Orioles, I can't stand. They are so pathetic. I hate their jerseys. I hate that stupid bird. I hate everything about Baltimore. And when I look at the paper, which I still do from time to time, and I look at it, I go to the news and the sports, and I happen to miss a Red Sox game, and I see that the Red Sox are still looking up on those suck bag Baltimore Orioles.
Listen, Baltimore's a great city. We can go see the Red Sox right now for $10. Again, not going to Fenway, not going to Baltimore.
So there you have it, folks. Not good situations going on over there in Yawkey Way, but we still have playoff stuff going on. Real quick, Cope, we're gonna by the time we come back, I'm not sure where the series will be, how many games will be played. What is your quick prediction with the Bruins? What do you think is going to happen with the Bruins? What do you think is going to happen with this series? With the Celtics.
Let's see.
Bruins.
I think the Bruins are going 7.
They're going to win in 7. Or going to lose in 7.
I think they are going to lose in 7.
Okay.
And I believe the Celtics are on a high, and I think they're going to win in 6.
They're 1-6, so they're going to win it in Milwaukee.
They already got that one win in Milwaukee. They should have won game 3 in Milwaukee. So if they win tomorrow, I don't see why they can't go into Milwaukee and win that.
I'm in the same vein. I think it's going to be 7 games, and the Bruins are going to fall short. And I think that'll be the chapter of the end of the Bergeron.
You want to ask me my prediction for the Red Sox this week?
Sure.
Next week they'll probably have 0 wins and 8 losses.
They'll be 10-27 according to my map. So I predict that they're going to be a little bit better than that.
And of course they're playing at Atlanta tonight, which is 2 losses. Two losses
automatic.
in a row.
It's 2 automatics.
Acuna's going to hit like 6 home runs.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens out there, but it's not looking good out there. But I think the same thing. I think the Celtics are a deeper team, a better team. Overall, they have more depth and they have all their players and their pieces move consistently. As long as Middleton stays in that bench and not play, I like the Celtics in 6 myself.
Listen, and we obviously saw them live in Brooklyn a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
This team is just playing differently this year, and I would hate to see them fall short. I honestly think, especially after last night's win, how tough they gutted up to win that game. This team is ready to win an NBA championship this year.
I think they have the pedigree and the vein for it. So that is all we have time for this time around. So if you missed us, you can catch us. We'll be up there on the stream on the Eric B Media platform on Facebook. We have YouTubes and we have all other kinds of great social platforms. We will be back next week, 7 to 8 on Tuesday, and then we'll be back to our normal 6:30 to 7:30 slot. So as always, the Comin In Klutch podcast is being brought to you by the great folks at Troy City Mortgage and, of course, the great partners over at the Walsh. Title and closing working together to bring you the best home buying experience. The Troy City Mortgage have the best places to get you a mortgage in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, led by the great David Pereira. The team at Troy City have local roots and deep knowledge and great expert solutions to get you the best mortgage possible. Give them a call at 508-207-5864. That's 508-207-5864. And, of course, the Walsh Title and Closing, for those of you who are struggling to close and get your title squared away, Give them a call at 508-858-5725. That's 508-858-5725.
And we can't forget DJ Classic. He's booking up for the summer here.
Getting hot.
He's getting hot, summertime's coming. The parties are coming. Looking for a DJ to have a hell of a time at your party? Book DJ Classic. You can book him at bookdjclassic@yahoo.com.
There we have it, folks. And that's all we have time for tonight. And as always, thank you for sharing and chiming. And thank you, Eric B. Media. And thank you for all the fans who watch and follow and share. So we'll see you again next week, hopefully. I'm Nelly.
I'm Colby.
And we're out.